You know, in business, we talk a lot about having a clear message. But what happens when the message itself isn't the problem? What if the biggest thing holding back your growth, your innovation, and your decision-making is simply that people can't hear each other? Today, we're going to take a really close look at the audio engineering solutions from Business Octane. These are tools designed not just to make things louder, but to bring actual clarity and meaning back into every single critical conversation.
So here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll talk about the very real cost of bad audio, and I mean the kind of costs that affect the bottom line. Then we're going to dive into 4 specific solutions: AltraASK for that high-end boardroom, AltraASK-WL for when you need to be more flexible, AltraCLARITY for the modern hybrid meeting, and XtraASK for when you need control across your entire enterprise. And at the end, we'll pull it all together so you can figure out which solution fits your needs.
All right, before we get into any of the tech, we have to talk about the stakes here. Why should you even care about audio clarity at an executive level? Well, because miscommunication isn't just some small annoyance. It is a real, hard cost that absolutely shows up on the balance sheet, even if it's not its own line item.
Think about it. Every single time someone has to say, "Can you say that again?" or "Sorry, you're breaking up," the momentum just dies. And that little bit of friction, it really adds up. We're talking about delayed projects, misunderstood client needs that lead to expensive rework, and strategy sessions where the best ideas just get lost in the static. And in today's hybrid world, bad audio doesn't just annoy people. It creates a feeling of unfairness, it kills engagement, and it basically just slows down the entire company.
So that brings us to the really big question. What's the actual, tangible cost when a key engineer can't clearly explain a technical risk, or when your lawyer's advice is all muffled during a huge negotiation? It's the cost of risk you didn't see coming, of deals that you lost, of a flawed strategy. This is the exact problem we're here to solve. So with that in mind, let's start looking at the solutions.
First up, we have AltraASK. Now, this is the solution that's been engineered for the absolute nerve center of a company. You know, the executive boardroom, the government chamber, basically any high-stakes room where every single word matters and the look and feel of the space has to be top-notch.
So what is it in one sentence? AltraASK is a premium, fully integrated motorized microphone system. Its whole job is to provide perfect speech reinforcement, making sure everyone at the table is heard like they're sitting right next to you, all without messing up the clean, professional look of a world-class boardroom.
Now here's the really cool part, how it works. The system has these individual gooseneck mics that are engineered to retract completely flush into the conference table. All it takes is the touch of a button. And this isn't just about looking neat. It's about being able to instantly change what the room is for. 1 minute, it's a high-tech audio conference, and the next, it's a clean table for reviewing blueprints or having lunch. The technology does its job, and then it just disappears. Let's make this real. Imagine a board meeting. They're talking about a multi-million-dollar acquisition. The risk management director, sitting way at the end of a 30-foot table, brings up a subtle but really critical point. With AltraASK, that quiet comment isn't just barely heard. It's delivered with total clarity and authority to every single person. That means decisions get made with all the information, not just guesses. It's about making sure every expert in the room is actually heard.
Okay, let's move on to our next solution. This one solves a totally different, but just as important, problem. What if your most important meeting spaces aren't permanent? What if your whole workplace is built around being agile and flexible? Well, that's where AltraASK-WL comes in. It's all about on-demand flexibility. So what is it? Simply put, AltraASK-WL is a completely portable wireless conferencing system that's built for business. It basically takes the amazing speech technology from AltraASK and cuts the cord, giving you total flexibility for rooms that have to do a little bit of everything. And this right here is the game changer for any IT or facilities manager. The whole system is designed to be set up fast without tearing anything apart. You can take a big, empty room and turn it into a full-on conferencing space in just a few hours. And when you're done, you pack it all away in a charging case. No drilling, no messy wires, no permanent changes to the room. It lets you turn any space into a high-performance meeting room whenever you need it.
You can probably already imagine where this would be perfect. We're talking corporate training rooms that need to switch from a classroom setup to group pods in minutes, or the big quarterly town hall meeting, or maybe a special event in a hotel ballroom. Really, any place where the seating arrangement and the room's function changes all the time is exactly where this system shines. Let me give you a great real-world example. Imagine a big hybrid town hall meeting. An employee way in the back turns on her mic to ask the CEO a question. Instantly, the system tells the room's cameras to pan, tilt, and zoom right in on her. Now, for the hundreds of people watching online, she isn't just some random voice. They can see her face, her expression. That one feature makes a huge difference in engagement and really makes remote folks feel like they're part of the action.
So this really breaks down the choice you have to make. On the left, AltraASK is a permanent investment in a dedicated high-stakes room. It's all about that seamless look and feel. On the right, AltraASK-WL is a flexible tool. It's all about speed and making the most out of your multi-purpose spaces. Two totally different approaches, solving two very different business problems.
All right, let's switch gears a bit. We've talked about tech on the table, but now let's look up at the ceiling. Our third solution, AltraCLARITY, is designed for how we work today in hybrid meetings, where the best technology is so good, you don't even know it's there.
So what is AltraCLARITY? It's a really advanced ceiling microphone system that gives you a completely natural, hands-free audio experience. Its entire purpose is to pick up the voice of everyone in the room with incredible clarity, specifically for the people joining the video conference remotely.
So how does it do that? Well, the secret is this really smart beam tracking technology. The mics in the ceiling create these precise, narrow beams of audio capture, and these beams automatically and instantly lock onto whoever is talking and follow them as they move. This means someone can stand up, walk over to a whiteboard, even turn their back, and their voice is still picked up with the same crystal clear quality. It frees people up to talk and interact naturally.
And here's the result of that. Let's say your product team is in a hybrid brainstorming session. A really fast-paced, back-and-forth discussion breaks out between three people at the whiteboard. With older systems, the remote team would just hear a garbled, echoey mess. But with AltraCLARITY, they hear every single word, every idea, perfectly. This doesn't just make the meeting better, it creates real inclusion and makes sure your best people can contribute no matter where they are. It just erases that line between being in the room and being remote.
Let's jump to our final solution. XtraASK is for those organizations that need more than just a fix for one room. This is for when you need a standardized, scalable, and highly controlled audio system across an entire campus or even your whole global company. And the definition here is really important. XtraASK is a customizable, flush-mounted system that is purpose-built for huge enterprise-wide rollouts. The key words here are standardization, deep customization, and centralized control over dozens or even hundreds of rooms.
So how does this one work? Well, like AltraASK, it's a permanent installation. But instead of the motorized mics, XtraASK uses these discrete, flush-mounted modules that blend right into the table. The focus here is less on the wow factor of retracting mics and more on creating a powerful, uniform, and almost invisible audio infrastructure that you can customize with things like voting buttons or channel selectors to fit exactly what each room needs.
And this is what truly makes it an enterprise solution. It lets a central operator, maybe in a control room somewhere else, manage all the microphones. That's a must-have for moderated events, government meetings, or big university lectures. It also has that same smart video tracking we saw before, plus USB recording. And because it's modular, you can add things like electronic voting or even link units together to handle hundreds of people in one single managed system.
Okay, let's pull all of this together into a simple guide. This is your key takeaway. If you are outfitting a top-tier executive boardroom where looks and performance are everything, AltraASK is your answer. For those dynamic multi-use spaces that need to be agile, AltraASK-WL gives you that flexibility on demand. For your modern hybrid-first meeting rooms where collaboration is everything, AltraCLARITY delivers that invisible, natural audio. And finally, if you need to create a manageable, scalable standard across your entire organization, XtraASK gives you that custom control.
So what's the bottom line here? It's that in today's world, bad audio is no longer an acceptable compromise. It's a major strategic weakness. The technology to make sure every single important conversation is perfectly clear exists right now. So the only real question left is your organization ready to stop leaving clarity up to chance? It's time to engineer your communications. It's time to be heard.